like, comment, subscribe to me and his channel.
What's up, it's your boy LOE Visitors. I'm back on the video. How y'all day? Gonna hope y'all vibing, y'all chilling, y'all enjoying y'all night. Y'all having a great night, productive night. I just got done watching the David Benavidez Caleb Plant fight, so we about to give y'all the reaction to the fight. It was a pretty close fight, and it was a pretty great fight. You know, it was a tale of two halves, basically. I think we got a great fight, and I think it was worth it. I'm not mad at the fight at all. I knew Caleb wasn't gonna get stopped, so I kind of got to give. I thought we almost had to split. I just I feel like David just picked it up in those later rounds and started to dominate, and that's pretty much what you expect from a guy who's moving most of the fight. And his legs eventually gonna give out, and that's pretty much what happened in the fight. But yeah, let's talk about it. In the early parts of the fight, I felt like Caleb was controlling the fight. And David is a slow starter, like most say he is a slow starter. So I didn't take too much keen to that, but the first 3 rounds, it felt like Caleb was doing well, and he was controlling, and it was his type of fight, and I was like, okay, so he's establishing what he wanted to do, and eventually it was on David to cut the ring off, and 3-6, it was little spurts where David could cut the ring off, and he might have snooked one or two of those rounds between 3 and 6, or snook one of those rounds, because he did start to catch him a little bit, in 3 and 6, but Caleb was still maintaining distance and hitting him with the jab, and basically kind of somewhat controlling the fight from far as a boxing standpoint. He was outboxing him, but I told you guys the fight was a tale of two halves. David started to pick it up, round 7, round 7, he started catching him, and he started catching him when Caleb would try to tie up with him. Caleb would try to clinch and kick, and David would still throw. He wouldn't just let, Kenny Bayless, break him up. He would still throw and try to fight in the inside. So Kenny Bayless, had no choice but to let him fight in the inside. So, Caleb would catch him, and he started catching him with some real hard shots in the inside while Caleb was trying to clinch. And I feel like, that started to, show. And, Caleb was, pretty much kind of slowing down with the movement, and it was looking like, David, this is the type of fight that David needed at that point, because, a lot of guys thought that, David was going to stop him late, and it was a chance, it was looking like it, but, Caleb used his, vet tactics and clinch very well, and, made sure he got to the decision, and that was very smart by Caleb, to clinch and, hold and, kind of get yourself back together, because David's a pretty strong guy. But, I felt like in those later rounds, David's size and him just, constantly walking down with the constant pressure played a big part. And, him, kind of getting this win, I feel like that was big. Round 8 came, and I think David may have cut him in round 8, and he hit him with a good shot, and cut him, and, Caleb started, get busted up around round 8 and 9. And he started, to look like, he's been in a fight and starting to get battered up. And it was pretty much, where David kind of turned the fight into his fight. I think he had banked probably about 2 or 3 rounds in a row at the time, or 2 rounds in a row, going into like round 8 or round 9. And, he was pretty much controlling the fight, and it was good. I think it was close. I think that the last round, it was a swing round, but it really didn't matter at that point. I guess David had did pretty much a lot of work, so he got the decision, and I'm not mad at the decision. I think it was a pretty good decision. I thought David deserved to win. He was up, in my opinion. I think he probably won. I had maybe 115, 113, something like that, or something like that. I had pretty 7-5 David, 8-4 David. I think it was something like that. But I thought Caleb did pretty well in those first 6, And, you know, he possibly could have stole the 12th. So, you know, that's why I say 7-5, you know, something like that. I'm not mad at the decision. I would love to see David get Canelo in September. You know, he after the fight, you know, he made the call out for Canelo. He said that the fans wanted to see it, and we really do. You know, I'm a fan of boxing, so I do want to see it. He said the legends want to see it. You know, and Canelo does have options. He is right about that, but you know, at this point, you know, options are eventually gonna run out. You know, we're gonna see him fight John Ryder, Cinco de Mayo, but David wants to fight in September, and I think that those are Canelo dates. You know, May and September, those are his dates, and I'm glad that, you know, David said his name. But if I was David, if he really wanted to fight, I would show up to Canelo's next fight. You know, in my opinion, and I would try to press him. I would press him until you know, the Mexican fans, you know, clamor for it and make Canelo fight him. So that's what I think he should do, you know, because, you know, Canelo isn't giving you any respect by saying nobody knows you, when David does you know, does have the respect, you know, as far as 168 right now with the win over Caleb. I think he's probably the top guy at the time as far as who's not Canelo. It's probably David Benavidez, you know, There's no other guy for Canelo to fight at the time if he's not moving up to fight Bieber for the rematch. You know, I think, or Charlo, and he's not going to fight Charlo. Charlo's been inactive, so I think David's the best guy to get the fight, in my opinion. And I think it will be a great fight, you know. It will be different from, Caleb Plant. Canelo is a little slicker, and, you know, a totally different style. And I think Canelo knows that, you know. I don't think he wants to get in there with David Benavidez due to the size discrepancy. You know, he knows David's a big guy, and it could pose a lot of problems for him as far as intangibles. But that's just my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It was a great fight. Chris Colbert, you know, got him a robbery win tonight, you know, as far as his bounce back fight over Rayo Valenzuela. You know, yeah, I think Rayo won their fight. In my opinion, you know, he pretty much hurt Chris Colbert, and he, you know, knocked him down in the first round, and he hurt him a few times in the fight, you know. So I'm not mad, but yeah, Chris Colbert definitely got a gift. Joey Spencer didn't look good, you know. I think he shouldn't be at junior welterweight. I think he's a little guy. I think he should probably try to go down to welterweight. I think junior welterweight, those guys are too big. I think his frame isn't, you know, for junior middleweight, those guys are too big. That's just my opinion. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Make sure y'all smash the like button, smash the like button, smash the like button. We're on the road to 1K subscribers. Hit the subscribe button. I love you guys so much. I'm out.